Hello, I'm Nathan Etherington, the Program and Community Coordinator here at the Brantford Historical Society. Welcome back to Season 2 of Archival Discoveries. This season, we hope to explore some of our favorite people, some of our favorite places, and in March, we'll feature some of Brantford's favorite industries. This week, we're going to start off with B.J. Lester. So recall in Season 1, I normally showed you the entire document box and the entire series of envelopes. However, for B.J. Lester, we just have this one solitary envelope. So we'll open it up and see what little information we can discern from this. Okay, so here we have some of the letterhead for the B.J. Lester Candy Works, and you can see their location noted there at the top of the page as 298 Colburn Street. So something else we can learn about what products they offer. They had these salted peanut bags. So this would be a quick little kind of snack or treat, maybe. Okay, so here we see a document relating to the company, and that gives us a date. So this gives us April 16th, 1929. So we're just about to head into the Big Depression. And we also see his name here for the first time, Benjamin Joseph Lester. So along with this is a patent for Lester's Lions Cough Drops. So here is the patent that he files with the federal government. And you can see here he even has a little rendition of what the impression is going to look like on his Lester Lion Cough Drops. So the next series of documents we see is slightly earlier, actually, and it's from this Racine company in Wisconsin, and they are noting that they've received the request for a price on their sucker machines. So all of these are written on the back of like some of their advertising. So you can see like some of the suckers that they would make, the mechanisms and gears that they make, and advertising their production rate as well. And then finally here, we have some other examples of the types of gears that you would use. So the candy, it would be like malleable, kind of semi-solid state, and then you would be able to roll it through and impress these things upon them. And you can see a variety of different styles of suckers. This one's like a ball, and this one's like a longer kind of like stick thing. However, this is also the 1920s, so the candy suckers are nowhere near as big as they are today. Okay, so now we're going to try and use our Past Perfect museum software that we use here at the museum to organize the collection and see if we can find out a bit more about B.J. Lester other than from the few documents that we looked at. So this is our database system. We have objects, which are things like actual stuff, photos, so photos that you often see being shared by the city of Brantford. Archives are documents like what we just saw in our document boxes. And the library is one that we don't really use, but we do have a small library, and some of the books are in the library section. So in order to find things, we often use this research option here. So we're gonna go and look by people here, and it's gonna pull up a list of names alphabetically by last name. So for B.J. Lester, we're gonna have to go into the L, and then we can click and use our keyboard to type Lester, and there I can see B.J. there himself, Benjamin, right? And this one tells me there's 3 photos, 11 objects, and something in the archives as well, right? So we can use this to pull up records, and we can see things like photographs. So here I can click Image Management, and it pulls up a big, nice picture for me of his original store and smoke shop at 5 Colburn Street. So you can see he had more than one location originally, and there as well he's doing some advertising on the sides of his building. There's another picture of the same one. And then we also see this one. Now this one's kind of a lot more difficult to make a lot of detail out. But this is one, if we go back to the record, of the royal, one of the royal visits. So it talks about it, the crest of the Prince of Wales. So this is their 1919 visit, and Leicester's kind of decorated their store, as many of them did, when royalty was coming. So going back to our screen, we can see a bunch of things that were donated in 1977 to the collection. And if we click on these, it will tell us what some of these are. So we have Leicester's ice cream box. We have a baking pot, a spatula, a holder, a candy thermometer. So a lot of these things actually came from the actual store and were donated by the Leicester family as well for the Leicester display. So let's see what other kinds of things that we have. So now we're looking at a different document, and this is a very different type of document that you find in most archives. This is actually our original accession register. So when things came in and are donated, we have to inventory them. So this was donated on April 17th, 1977, and you see for the Leicester's Candy store. And you can see a whole bunch of things related to the candy store. We have molds, some of those molds that were talked about, sundae dishes, ice cream dishes as well, a candy thermometer that's made out of copper, a paper cone holder, and then there's some other things on the back of the page. So we have a spatula, a hook, we have a book with recipes for candy. And then we see a dipping tank as well made of copper, as well as a candy jar. So let's go upstairs and look at the Leicester display store and see what other, which of these artifacts are actually in the display. Okay, so here we are in front of the Leicester candy display upstairs at the museum. And we see a lot of these artifacts that we were talking about from that original accession register. So down here we have our copper vat with the copper candy thermometer. We have some of the ice cream dishes over here, as well as the ice cream box over there. And then we have some of the candy molds as well over there for some of like the chocolate, copper vats for like heating and melting things. So this is just some of the collection that we have from Leicester's. Thanks for joining us on our premiere of Season 2 of Archival Discoveries. We learned quite a bit about B.J. Leicester today. We saw a picture of him out in front of his shop on the south side of Colburn Street. We saw some of the original documents, including patents for some of his cough drops. And then we went up to the display upstairs and saw a whole bunch of things that were actually used in his candy store. So join us next week on Archival Discoveries when we learn a little bit about one of our favorite landmarks in Brantford, the Kirby Hotel.